Today we have Ian Peterman of petermanfirm.com. How are you, Ian?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
I am good. Super excited to get this started with you today.
Awesome.
Yeah, so please tell me the story of how you got to where you are today and about Peterman Firm.
Yeah, so Peterman Firm is my second design firm. I started it back in 2018, I think.
Okay.
About that. It was a couple of years.
Okay.
It feels longer with this year.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so I started in the design world, mechanical designer, and kind of just worked my way through to being one of the founders of a design firm, managing that for a few years, and then jumping off on my true own and started the Peterman firm. And so it's completely focused on products. So we do product development, product design, branched into branding and things like that, but it's all focused around supporting product companies.
Okay, and so any specific products that you usually serve or that you help with as far as clients go?
I love this question because I say no. We actually
Okay.
have no specialty. Really, we've done consumer products, baby products, toys,
Truly
industrial
everything.
equipment, lasers, you name it. I've actually very specifically kept away from getting boxed into a
Okay.
singular niche, and so it keeps it far more interesting for me.
Okay, so then I'll switch that question. What is your favorite to do? What category
Oh
would you
my!
say is your favorite to design? If you had to pick, if you had to pick.
I had to pick. I love outdoor equipment. So
Okay.
anything in an outdoor space, whether outdoor sports or just camping or anything like that. And then transportation, especially new non-gas, so electric
Okay.
and hydrogen, things like that. Um, Kind of the energy space is great.
Okay, perfect. And so you obviously started the business, but you are designing yourself. What is your favorite part of the process and the designing process if
Oh
when you get
man.
your hands on it?
Um, I mean, really my favorite now is kind of just managing and guiding the product through the process. If I get my hands dirty, so to speak, and get into it,
Right.
um, I really I really like the towards the end where we figure out how to actually manufacture it. So it's great. We have all these great ideas and stuff, and then it's where the rubber hits the road. You're like, well, I gotta actually make it now. How
Right.
how are we going to
Now we have
do
something
that?
concrete. Now we can
Yeah,
see
we
it. It's not just on a piece of paper anymore, or a computer.
exactly. It's moved into the real realm. We have prototypes, and you're figuring out whether the manufacturer can even do
Right.
what you're hoping that they can do, and that kind of problem solving on a very real level of like, well, this is we have a point. We got to figure it out. We don't
Okay.
if we don't, we have no
Finishing like
product.
the puzzle. You did the edges and
Exactly.
now we're doing like the center of the last details.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. So as a creative, a lot of times they talk about how you need to have your mind just open, not be stressed out. So how do you keep yourself just in that high performance, keeping your mind clear?
I've done many things.
Okay,
um,
let's hear it.
Meditation. I wake up early. I'll do journaling. I'll just
Okay.
do trying to flow state. Try to get there. Doesn't always work. I have 4 kids,
I understand. Okay.
so that keeps it interesting. But just things like that. And I jump between tasks. So I don't. I do a lot of get stuck in one area. I move in. I do something else. I do something completely different. So. Like I play the violin, so I'll take a break.
Ooh.
If I can't figure something out, I'll take a break and do that or something else and just kind of jump myself over,
Hmm.
and then I'll come back like, oh, I have an idea. I know how to solve solve this now.
Okay.
So those are the ones that have worked. So, and breathing, good breathing exercise
Breathing,
every now and then. It's
right. Take
good.
a nice little deep breath once in a while is good.
Yeah.
And so would you say that having that creative mind is kind of what makes you want to just do like different things, different tasks, keep your mind going and spiced
Oh,
up?
definitely. I've done the desk job where you're designing, but you're really
Hmm.
designing the same thing over and over, 40 hours a week, all year long, no nothing new. And
Right.
that's part of why don't work for someone else now is that is far too monotonous. So I need
Right.
a creative thing. I need something to solve that I haven't solved 50 times already. So
And so it's always something new in your business. That sounds very exciting.
it is. It is. I like it.
So I'm curious, what did you decide to make the dynamic, the culture of your group and your team dealing with the business, like again, coming from the creative side?
um, a lot of listening. um, we were fully remote before COVID,
Okay.
so we kind of were able to weather that super well team wise. So and our culture is very much we have pretty much no structure. And we have a couple titles, but in reality, we basically build teams around a project, and so we're in a constant fluid state of who's involved on what, who's lead, and it all depends on what are the client's needs. So we're very kind of in a title agnostic. Yeah, you have a title, you can be creative director, you're a designer, but on this project, we might have somebody else leading because the client is really focused on what their skill set has. So
Okay.
it's more of that caring about what the project is and what needs to happen to get it done, and then everything else falls into that. And so a lot of communication is very
Right.
is very key to keep that flow working.
I can imagine. Do you have people who maybe like structure more? Is that something they maybe had to adjust to as far as working with you, of having a little less
Yeah,
structure than some other jobs?
yeah, there's definitely have been some team members that are much more, they need that. And so with that, it is a balance, because I don't believe in forcing. If you need structure, then to be most efficient, you need it. And so that's why we're a little more flexible as well. If you
Okay.
need, if you really need the structure, we can give structure. We can.
Okay.
I come from the engineering world. I can definitely give structure
Oh yeah.
beyond what you actually want. So really, it's just tailoring what that is. And so we do have a structure. We're not just a bunch of people running around hoping we did it right. But we do tailor. Some people enjoy more autonomy, that they work, that's how they work best.
Okay.
Others need, well, I need a to-do list today to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so we're just working on a more individual basis of, this person's autonomous. Give them the general project, and 6 months later it'll be done.
Right.
Whole project, man, we're done.
Great.
Totally fine. They're great with that. And then other people are like, well, you can't do that. They'll be confused and frustrated, and they'll think they're not doing their job right. And so it's like, well, here, we're gonna break this down. This week we need this done. So it's really a fluid process.
Yeah. No, and I love that, because I feel like there's so many businesses think they have to have this like one thing and try to hire people that fit that. Rather for you, it's like, I mean, if you fit it, great, but there's ways that we can, like I said, be flexible so everyone can enjoy it and be in their own workflow.
Yeah, well, and it's all about getting people in their workflow. You want them in a flow state. You want them happy and working. Otherwise, they're not going to do as much, and they're going to hate it, and they're going to quit, and you're going to get bad reviews. So
Right. And now we have to
just
hire
don't do
again and
that.
do the whole thing, right?
Just
Have to
avoid
make sure
it.
you're good. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And so, what are some of the obstacles that you see, maybe your employees or your own peers or just your family, as far as struggling with energy management?
Um, I mean, having kids, you really understand energy management. They like lights on all the time.
Right.
So, yeah, for anybody that doesn't think energy conservation is a thing, I recommend getting one kid to just stay at your house for a few weeks and watch your energy bills skyrocket, because they leave the water on, they leave the light on, and then you'll know that it's a real thing.
Right.
It's for business wise, because we're distributed. We don't have a central big building to keep lights on. So we're kind of in a corporate level where our footprint is pretty minimal. We use internet from our houses that we already have. We use a little bit of power for a laptop, but we don't have a huge place. We're constantly keeping lit and everything else that goes into that. So, and I think that it's actually improving, like with COVID, people being forced to work from home and not have giant buildings constantly running as much. I think it's helping, and I think it's making people aware that, oh, well, I can actually work from home, and we don't have to have this huge burn just to keep an office because we've had offices for 100 years, so you must do it. So I think that's helping.
Okay. And how about your internal management, internal energy management as well? Like how are people doing as far as just remaining balanced and not getting burnt out? Like how have you seen people struggle and then also over or achieve that?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, again, we're in COVID, so the being shut down and not having as many outlets as we normally would has definitely been a struggle. We've seen it in our team. It's just not being able to go be with friends, not being able to have as many ways to blow off steam and go do something fun and rejuvenating for yourself. So, and that's definitely impacted some. And the rest is our policies internally are very loose. We're not a strict, well, you have 3 hours of PTO, and if you miss any, you're fired. So it's very much what do you need, and take time off. Like, mental day is a thing. You should take it off.
Yes.
Right. And so basically we're more of a take however time you need, take care of yourself. Please don't work 15 hours a day. That will not work out for anyone.
Right.
And just don't abuse it, right? Like, have basically a little contract of, well, you can take care of yourself, but don't kill the company doing it. Like, we gotta have a balance. If everybody takes a month off, we have no company, and then nobody has jobs. So
now we're all set.
Right. And we're all in trouble. So that's our attitude, is very much take care of yourself, do what you need to do, take a mental break, take time, take your kids to the doctor. You're not going to get in trouble for taking your kids to the doctor because you ran out of PTO. Right. So that's very much our attitude towards it, and just letting people figure out, and it hasn't hurt us. We've never hit a point where like, oh, we're getting burned, too many hours are being taken care of. Because it's very much, when you take care of people, they're going to want to take care of the company, because they're not going to want to lose that, because it's not as common as it should be. So it's like, well, we have a good job, it takes care of us, we should probably keep them running so that we can all enjoy this. So that's our approach.
And that's what I was thinking as well. Like you said, it hasn't hurt you so far. I can only imagine it just makes your employees kind of take a deep breath, like, okay, the world is not going to crash and burn if I have to take care of myself or take care of my kids, and just make them, work. Then it just creates better productivity for the business, and everyone's happy.
Exactly. If you're busy, stressed about being sick, or your kids being sick, you're not going to be productive anyway. Like, you're not going to go into work and be like, oh, I forget that I have anything else happening in my life completely. I'm going to sit down and focus. It's going to be great. You're going to sit there and you're going to be stressed, thinking about all these other things. You're going to be super stressed. Your productivity is going to tank. You're going to be grumpy. Yeah, like it just doesn't work out. So
no one wins.
Take care of yourself, get healthy, stay healthy, keep your family taken care of, and you'll have time. You will have time because you have taken care of all your other things.
Wonderful. So I'm curious, what is your vision for the next 3 to 5 years for Peterman Firm?
Lots of growth. We're small. We're about 10 people right now. We want to be at about 50 in the next 3 years. We want to 5x at least.
There you go.
And grow. And we're working on things like mentorship program and ways to help earlier startups, and work with more people and help people start more projects that they can't afford $100,000 project to launch their thing, but they can do other things and get guidance. With some guidance, they can do a lot. So we're trying to figure out ways to just help people move forward with their own ideas, because that's what we do. So
great. So for any of our listeners who are interested in working with you in the business, what are the best places to go to for more information and to do so?
Definitely our website, petermanfirm.com. And then we are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can find me super easily. Just search Ian Peterman Design. I'll probably be the first one that shows up. And yeah, just whatever works for you as the listeners, reach out. We're pretty active on responding.
Great. Well, Ian Peterman, thank you so much for your time today and for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.